Hey you guys, how are you doing? I was supposed to make a YouTube video a couple of days ago and I forgot. So here I am. We're gonna get into kind of like my life journey over the past year. Um, so it's now 2024. We're gonna talk about from 2023 to 2024 and just some of the things that I have experienced. What's on my face? Um, just on some of the things that I've experienced, some things that I went through, and some things that I'm currently going through. So, right now, I'm in a rehab program. Let me tell you guys how I got here. I ended up going to jail October of 2023 for headbutting two police officers. Yes, you heard me correctly. I, in a fit of rage, headbutted two police officers. Now, this wasn't completely random. The police officer had asked to speak to me, so I told him go ahead and talk. He told me I needed to get in front of his car or he was going to arrest me for obstruction. So I get over to in front of his car and I asked him, like, what's up? What do you want to talk to me about? And then I said, I have a question. Am I going to jail? He said no. But then he proceeds to try to put my hands behind my back and he starts manhandling me. So when he's manhandling me, I boom, headbutt him like that, like boop, like that. And then his partner comes up and I boop, headbutted him as well. So that's pretty much what had happened. But let's get into the tea. So some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know, but if you do know me, you know that I am an open book. So I'm going to share a little bit of my trials and tribulations that led up to these events. So in the year of 2022, I was very suicidal and homicidal. I had went through an episode where I just felt like I was not worthy of living life. I felt like I wasn't a good mom, I wasn't a good wife, all of these things. And for those of you who don't know, I am married. We are separated. We have not been together since 2022, but I am still legally married. So anyways, with that being said, I had went through a really hard time of just not wanting to be here, but not necessarily wanting to leave my kids. So I was like, fuck it, we all gonna die. Now, when I had got thoughts of killing everybody, I did check myself into the mental hospital because it's not normal thoughts. It's not something that I have experienced before. So I did check myself into the mental hospital. And then after getting out, I did send my kids with their dads because for me personally, I think that when you're a mom, you have to step outside yourself. Your kids always come first. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is that you're going through, your kids come first. And if you are in a mental state that is not conducive to those kids' well-being, then it is okay to get them from around you. So that happened. And I was living by myself and I thought that like being without my kids would help me, but it actually had made things worse. I didn't have nothing to get up for. I didn't have nobody to look after, so I was just stuck with all my intrusive thoughts. So my depression ended up getting really bad. I started working at Amazon. I was working overnight, which is not recommended because I am bipolar. So I do suffer from extreme depressed episodes, but as well as extreme manic episodes. And when you are working overnight and you already have a type of condition like bipolar, it messes with, and I believe it's called your circadian rhythm, which is the natural rhythm that your body has. You know, at nighttime when it's dark, you sleep. You know, when it's daytime, you be up. Well, I was doing the opposite because of the hours that I was working. So one night I'm at work. Now we're in 2023. I'm at work and I end up having a breakdown and I call my grandma and I basically tell her that I want to move to Vegas. So she pretty much told me to go home, get some rest, think about it, whatever. But my mind was already made up. So I do. I go home, I go to sleep, but I leave. I go to Vegas. Now, for those of you who know and for those of you who don't know, my mom and sister were murdered. And with that happening, my mom had left me a lot of money. So I was able to move to Vegas and still pay for my apartment in Sacramento just so I could be able to get on my feet. So I come to Vegas and I live with my grandma for 3 months. I end up getting a job. I start working as a caretaker. Again, though, I'm working an overnight shift. I'm working at 12 o'clock to 8 in the morning. And I did that for a very decent amount of time. I lived with my grandma for 3 months, ended up getting my own place. And then I ended up getting my own place, whatever. I like to eat. I like to go out to eat. Okay, drop the kids off at school, go eat, go have a good time. That's what me and my friend would do. So I'm like, I need another job because I'm expensive. So I go to get another job and I go to this interview. Well, as I'm sitting at the interview, my brother's mother-in-law is calling me back to back. Now, at first, I'm denying the call because I'm sitting waiting for an interview. But when she called me like the third time, I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I answer the phone, and she tells me that my brother had died. And I'm like, what? I just break down crying while I'm at this interview. You know, the people that were holding the interview, they're trying to get me to reschedule the interview. I'm like, absolutely not. I need this job. So what I would like for you guys to do is go ahead through everybody else. I'll cry, get these tears out, and then I'm going to do this interview, and I'm about to get this job. And that's exactly what I did. Did the interview, passed it with flying colors, got the job, went across to Applebee's, and had some drinks. Now, so that was July 10th of 2023. Now, me not realizing that certain things, including death, can trigger me into an episode because my mom and sister was murdered. Even though it's not the same situation, it's still some type of trauma, it's still some type of grief, it's still some type of sadness. So, with that being said, I'm now working from 12 at night to 8 in the morning, get off of work, and then go to work from 10 in the morning to 6 p.m., go home, try to go to sleep, wake up by 11, and do this. And I did this for about a month before I completely just lost it. Where my downfall was, I start messing with this younger dude, and we get into it. And I leave his house, and I didn't have my car at the time, so I would have been on the bus. I didn't have no money with me, so I'm sitting at the park hanging out with the bums, basically. Well, I get the bright idea because when I had start working that second job, I couldn't be taking the medication that is prescribed to me and be working those type of hours. So I stopped taking my medication. So I get the bright idea that the bums at the park is smoking crystal. Why don't I smoke some crystal with them? So I do that. And I'm just running around now. I'm just running around acting a fool. I end up getting into it with my grandma and my cousin because they had owed me money. Now, they have been owing me money for some years. I really essentially had let it go. But I had let people get into my head like, oh, you're going through this, you're going through that, and you got family members that owe you money, da-da-da-da. So I started pushing the issue. Well, I end up going to jail. That was the first time that I went to jail in Vegas. So now we are in August. That was the first time I go to jail, and before that, I had went to LA and did some drugs with my uncle, and end up taking the fucking dope man with me back to my house. Long story short, the dope man ends up stealing from me. He steals my rental car that I had at the time. My Michael Kors bag was in there. I had started writing the story about my mom and my sister, so all that was gone. I ended up going to jail. I missed my brother's funeral. And then from there, it was just like a continuous spiral. Now, for me, my story with drugs, I have not used for even a year. It was a couple of months. I did not use every day. I was a weekend user. But it went from do drugs this weekend, not do them, then do them like 3 weekends later, to me starting to do the drugs every weekend. So before I could even get wrapped up in that, I had started going back and forth to jail, So from August to October, I went to jail over 10 times. I done flipped the police over. I done headbutted the police. I done a lot of things before I had actually got charged with battery on a protected person in October. So my life was just doing a lot, and I feel like me going to jail in October to finally sit down, because I was going to jail and going in, getting out. But when I went to jail in October, I actually had to sit down for 5 months and really had that experience, and it was horrible. When I first got to jail, I was having really bad nightmares about my mom and my sister. I had lost my apartment when I had went to jail. So all my pictures, all my family pictures, my mom's mom is dead. My mom is dead. So I had all the family pictures. I had pictures of my cousins when they was kids, me when I was kids, my kids, my mom when she was a kid, and everything that I had lost because I was out there wilding out. So, I'm in jail and I'm doing the jail thing. I'm fighting the case. They're actually trying to send me to prison because I had better 2 police officers. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And when they told me that they was thinking about sending me to prison for a year, I broke out and I started crying. And I'm like, I have mental health and I've been using drugs. So they had to put me in a program which is called co-occurring court. Some of you guys may be familiar with drug court. Co-occurring court is similar, but my court is specifically for mental health. But it's very similar to drug court. So with that being said, I do my 5 months and I get out of jail. I go back to the shop. I get a job aside from the shop. Again, doing too much, getting 2 jobs. But that's just me. So I messed up because I got a call from my sister-in-law, or maybe it was a text message, I'm not sure. But I got word from my sister-in-law that we finally had got the cause of my brother's death. And he died from an unintentional fentanyl overdose. So I had a lot of emotions because when I had went to jail in August, I had found out that there was fentanyl in my system. Now, I don't do fentanyl. That's not my drug of choice. It's not something that I mess with. So it had made me feel like emotional because my brother died from this, and here I am out here wilding out, and I'm not dead. So I'm like, you know what? My brother was a drinker. So I'm like, to, celebrate his memory, I'm a drink. Well, I am in co-occurring court, so you cannot drink, you cannot smoke, you cannot do any mind-altering substances, and I did. The same day I drank happened to be the same day I had to go drug test. So I go drug test. Of course, there's alcohol in my system. By the levels of the alcohol in my system, it was assumed that I was drunk when I went to go take my test. So I'm out for a couple of weeks, but on my next court date, they remanded me and sent me back to jail. So I went back to jail for another 3, almost 4 months, from April to July, and then they sentenced me to rehab. Now, I'm like, I haven't did drugs since October, so I'm good. And I tell everybody, even to this day, my drug of choice is marijuana. That's the only drug I've ever done every day, multiple times a day. But they were like, they're sending me to rehab. So I came here to rehab. I had to do 2 months in the back. I would have did 45 days, but I got caught sneaking on Facebook. And then now I'm in the transitional program where now we can go out, but we have to go to intensive outpatient. There's certain requirements that I have to do to stay in this program. But that is where I'm at right now. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because I'm a strong believer that the things that I've been through can help somebody else. So if you guys would like to hear more about this story, or if you guys want to hear certain things in particular, just let me know and I will share with you guys. But I thank you guys. If you made it through this whole video, please like, comment, and share. Share with me some crazy experiences that you had in your life and the positive that came out of it. For me, the positive that I came out of it is because now I have a better understanding of people who are drug addicts, and I also have a better understanding of my personal triggers and things that I could do so that I don't want to drink or use drugs. Since October of 2023, I haven't done any drugs. The last time that I had a drink was March 26th, and I wasn't drinking every day before that. But this is my first time in my life. I started drinking when I was in elementary school. And then from there, I've tried cocaine, I've popped pills, I've done different things. So this is the longest time in my life that I've ever been sober. And I'm actually liking it. I'm finding out that there's ways to have fun and be sober, that I'm a pretty dope person without any substances. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. And again, like, comment, and share on my video. Have a good day. Bye.